In you who are one, in you who are one, immaculate, still awareness. From where can birth, action, or a separate person arise? In you who are one, immaculate, still awareness. From where can birth, action, or a separate person arise? This is, the sage has constantly made a distinction right from the beginning between reality and appearance. What is real? And to help us, he also gave us the meaning of reality. He said that which does not come and go. At least in Satsang, we call that a reality, and that which is coming and going is called an appearance. And over, what we check is that this reality, this self, this awareness is that which does not come and go. I posted over the weekend that it's so beautiful that even in its denial, it only affirms itself. It only confirms itself. If you say, I am not aware, what you are actually saying is that I am aware, or I know that I am not aware. This awareness, this knowingness is not a coming and going. It is the constant witness of all that comes and goes. So if reality is that which does not come and go, then where is the person? That which we consider ourselves to be is actually the opposite of this. If this does not come and go, the person actually is never here. It is just an idea. Just digest this for a few moments. Just look at this beautiful play, that which we have considered ourselves to be is never truly found. And that which is always here, we seem to be looking for that. And this would be really a very funny joke, except that it seems to cause so much suffering. You cannot pose as, pretend to be something limited unless you believe a limited notion about yourself. Therefore, it is not your original, it is not your natural state. And I'm speaking about you right now. What is your original state right now? Even if we leave aside what is real and unreal, who is it that is the cognizer? Who is it that witnesses all of this movement? Even if we don't worry about whether it is real or not, what is it that witnesses it? Whatever might be the situation of the world, the true position or the untrue position of the world, what is the position of the perceiver of this world? Who is it that witnesses the thoughts and that space between two thoughts? What is the shape of you? To quote a very popular pop song. In you who are one, immaculate, still awareness, from where can birth, action, or a separate person arise? Birth itself means what? It's a coming, isn't it? So if you were born, then you cannot be that which is beyond coming and going. If you will die, you cannot be beyond death. Can we find this birthless, deathless one? All the clues in the Ashtavakra, all the clues in Satsang are for this discovery. That is why I posted this quote from the Bhagavad Gita yesterday, where Krishna said that I am sharing that, knowing which you will come to your immortality. It is no small promise. You see? So don't let the regularness of satsang fool you. It is something which is being pointed at, that which you will know with a capital K know, not mentally know or perceptually know, but that knowing which is beyond play of the world, beyond the play of birth and death. That's why Sri Krishna said, sharing that, knowing which you will come to your immortality, to that Brahman. Brahman means the absolute self, this awareness that we speak of, which is beyond even being and non-being. the presence of consciousness or the absence of consciousness, the presence of this universe or the absence of it, this is what is being pointed to. So what is prior to birth? From where can birth, action, or a separate person arise? Action means the idea of this separate person, this individual doer that was born and then did a particular set of actions and then died. That is our idea about who we are. I was born as a separate entity. I had some doership and some desires. I did some things and then ultimately I died. But the sages have reminded us over and over again, you are not this. You are deathless and you are the unborn. Even if you go to the past and remember a moment from the past, if you look for your true position, you will find that you were the witness of it. You were neither the doer nor the experiencer of everything that happened on the screen of this movie. And even if you project a future outward, even in that, you cannot step away from your true position, which is the witnessing. Why do I say witnessing and not the witness? Because I know that the term witness can imply as if there is an entity there. See, that's why the sages over and over they use this example that the rope has been confused to be a snake, but when truly examined, we find that there is no snake. You see, that is why this one is an even more beautiful example than the wave in the ocean. Why? Because in the wave in the ocean, at least you have the feeling that at least there is an arising of an individual wave, which you can point to and say, hey, this is what I am. But in the rope and the snake, there is no such arising. It is a pure misunderstanding. And although it seems to be qualitatively present, there is no denial that consciousness appears, arises. Yet, when truly examined, we find that all that is here is this awareness, this knowingness. So, what if we were to throw away all concepts and not be concerned about any appearance that does not point us to the truth? What if we were to throw away everything that does not point us to this ultimate reality, and now we have enough clues to know what is it that it is meant by when we say ultimate reality? The Guru is supposed to be the dispeller of darkness, the dispeller of ignorance, and the bringer of light. What is this light? The light of true knowledge. So, ignorance must be that which points to that which is untrue about us. Agreed? Ignorance must be that which shows us something which is untrue about us. And knowledge must be that which points us to that which is true about us. And this truth, you don't have to rely on somebody's statement about it, not even Krishna's. You have to rely on your own inner intuitive recognition, which I call insight. And we did a raising of hands the other day, and most of you said that when I check, I find that this is true about me. And most of you said, every time I check, I find that the words of the sage are true. Therefore, now, ignorance must mean that which is pointing to something which is untrue. In my intuitive recognition, in my inner insight about myself. And that is the reason why I say, don't believe your next thought. Because it is just buying into ignorance. The ignorance of separation, the ignorance of duality, doership, and desire. Okay? Whatever you perceive is you and you alone. How can bracelets, armlets, and anklets be other than the gold that they are made of? Whatever you perceive is you and you alone, and both the yous are in capitals. How can bracelets, armlets, and anklets be other than the gold that they are made of? What is the substance of this universe? It is you. Fullness arises from fullness, and yet fullness remains full. This infinite play of consciousness arises within awareness, which itself is infinite. And yet, in the arising of this consciousness, awareness remains untouched and complete as before. Therefore, this entire play of consciousness must be made up of awareness alone. I am aware, and most intimately then, when the play of phenomena is here, I am aware of my existence. There is nothing closer than this. And your existence is the substance of this apparent universe. From your experience, you have no trouble with this. You cannot have the experience of any object unless you are aware of your existence. Without existence, without being, without I am, there is no phenomenon. And who is being? You are. That is why it is I am. Confirm your existence. And I know the trick of the mind, which is that every time you hear this, the mind can come and say, I'm not really sure whether it's the same existence that I am finding that he is speaking about. Because mind seems so limited. But if you were to truly investigate this, you will find that this existence that you are calling limited right now has no limitation. We can have the idea that it is limited within my body. We can have the idea that it is in my physical heart. But upon investigation, all these ideas, they fall away. Then you start to see that it is actually all of these sensations and experiences and visuals and sounds that are contained within this. Attention never leaves my being. And from there, you can say words like this, which is whatever you perceive is you and you alone. How can bracelets, armlets, and anklets be other than the gold that they are made of? Leave behind such distinctions as I am he, the self, and I am not this. Consider everything the self. Be desireless. Be happy. Don't even make any distinction. Don't label anything now. What the sage is pointing to is a mental, conceptual knowledge which must be dropped now. He's saying leave these distinctions. Don't become a conceptual Advaitin. going around saying that I am awareness. Just conceptually. If these words have to emerge, they will emerge. If this tongue has to be used in that way, it will be used in that way. But the fragrance that will accompany these words will not smell of concept anymore. So drop all mental distinction and consider everything the self. How to consider everything as a self? If the thought is the voice of limitation, then as we are empty of this egoic belief, then automatically you find that there is no separation. So you don't have to work towards considering everything the self. You will find that that is your natural insight, your intuitive insight. Your ignorance alone creates the universe. In reality, one alone exists. There is no person or God other than you. Your ignorance alone creates the universe. In reality, one alone exists. There is no person or God other than you. Can we hear these words? Ignorance is that which we discussed earlier, which is the opposite, the seeming opposite of reality. So it is the play of that coming and going. So this universe also is a coming and going. This universe is part of one of the four states that we can experience. See, it is not even the entirety of our experience. It is just one of the four states that we experience if we make the distinction between waking and dream. So in the waking state, this universe; in the dream state, some other universe; in the sleep state, no universe. And some of us, when you experience something like Turiya, where there can be some sense of existence, but without the appearance of a apparent universe. Don't worry about that. So just this to see that between this time that I call waking up and this time that I call going to sleep, we experience one universe, which is one of the four states which can be experienced here. So your ignorance creates the universe is the idea that there is a universe which contains me in all this subject-object relationships in this apparent play are real. As you begin to rest in your reality, you will become more and more comfortable with saying, but none of this has ever happened. And knowing fully well that even this statement can be made only within the play of consciousness. And yet, there will be more comfort about saying these kind of things. Because you see that your true reality is untouched by this play of movement, play of consciousness. In reality, one alone exists. And which one is this? There is no person or God other than you. This you is that which contains every experience that you can fathom. So please don't fall for this silly mind trick which has you, oh, but if it's only me, then that's very lonely. You are the source of all the multiverses. There's nothing to be lonely. You are that in which all this play is happening. You are that supreme intelligence which has designed this entire play. One who knows for certain that the universe is illusion, a no thing, becomes desireless, pure awareness, and finds peace in the existence of nothing. One who knows for certain that the universe is illusion, a no thing, becomes desireless, pure awareness, and finds peace in the existence of nothing. Again, certain that the universe is illusion from which perspective? From that definition of reality which was previously defined, which is that it is our direct experience, our inner insight, intuitive discovery, and yet it is something which does not come and go. So, what stands up to this definition of reality? Only the self. From that perspective, then all that is coming and going is referred to as illusion. One who knows for certain that the universe is illusion and no thing becomes desireless, pure awareness, and finds peace in the existence of nothing. Desire is what? Desire is that idea that there is a me and I want something to be mine. Only if there is an individual me can there be an idea of mine. So when it is seen that all of this is a coming and going, and actually you remain untouched by it, or it is seen that all of this is contained within my being, what is here for me to desire? So now, in the appearance, if there are lots of things or there is nothing, it truly makes no difference to the self. This recognition is peace. This non-resistance to whatever might be appearing in the world, this non-resistance to whatever might be appearing in the world is peace. In the ocean of existence, only one is, was, and ever will be. You are neither bound nor free. Live content and happy. In the ocean of existence, only one is, was, and ever will be. You are neither bound nor free. We've discussed this so many times, especially this time since I started sharing Satsang again, where we looked and we saw that before you pick up the problem of trying to find freedom, can you at least confirm your bondage? Before we pick up the idea that I must find this freedom, let's at least confirm that you are bound. So most of satsang is this, isn't it? You're saying, Father, Father, get me out of here. I'm stuck. I'm bound. And I'm saying, show me the prison. There's an ancient example like this. Somewhere. Maybe Guruji tells a story like that. I'm saying, show me the prison. You say, but I've been inside this prison for so long. What do you mean there is no prison? I say, okay, humor me. Humor me for a minute and show me one bar of this prison. You say, no, 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 this is just, it cannot be true. Can it be that simple? All of us, then you get the others into the picture. You see. It's not just me in this prison, but there are so many of us. We are all stuck. What do you mean there is no prison? So, all of Satsang is just about this. Can you confirm who it is that is stuck in this prison? That one is bound. We will get it with freedom. But can we at least show that one? Produce that one? Then you say, no, I'm not finding it. But my mind is saying I'm bound. The mind is saying I'm limited. The mind is saying I want this. The mind is saying I must do this. That's why I say, okay, for some time, don't believe what the mind is saying. You check for yourself. And then we play this game for whatever period of time, which is but my mind, but my mind, but my mind. One way or the other, but the mind, but. And ultimately, after taking out all these but, and you say, oh, it's always been just this. Isn't this the whole game actually? You have believed yourself to be an imaginary limitation, an imaginary person, an imaginary prison. Then your intuitive presence, in one way or the other, gets through to you and says, but who are you that is bound? Then you find that there is no such thing. Then, for a few minutes, hours, weeks, or centuries, we play the game of but my mind. And then we come to this simple piece, this simple recognition that there was nobody here who could have been bound. But that's very good. So the sage says, do not stir the mind with yes or no. You are pure consciousness. Be still and abide in the bliss of self. He caught on very well. He's also used to it, obviously. So he recognizes that even when something is shared in satsang, the mind still gets our belief in terms of its either confirmation or rejection. And he's saying, be empty even of that. Because it is the voice of this judge, the mind playing as the judge, saying yes, yes, no, no, which also keeps us in check in a way. Still believing that we need to rely on this mental confirmation, what I call the mind certificate. Especially about the words of satsang. It's really funny. When we go to the mind with the words of satsang for its confirmation, it's like taking Einstein's words and going to a 3-year-old and saying, "What do you think about this theory of relativity?" Yes, yes, Pa. No, no. What does the mind know about what the sage is saying? Has no idea. Do not stir the mind with yes or no. You are pure consciousness. Be still and abide in the bliss of self. Give up completely all contemplation. Okay. Give up completely all contemplation. Hold nothing in the mind or heart. You are the self, forever free. Of what use is thinking to you? Of what use is thinking to you? So we were saying the other day that what is the usual usage of the term contemplation? The usual usage of the term contemplation is that I'm going to think about it. I'm going to take a particular topic and I'm going to think about it. What do we call contemplation? What we call contemplation is coming to this inner insight, more like a intuitive recognition, which in fact all the words of the sage so far have been used to guide us to. So then the sage at the end of chapter 15, after hearing hundreds of verses, is basically sharing his version of drop the search. Because he recognizes that many times all that is keeping the ego alive is the seeker identity itself. Hold nothing in the mind or heart. You are the self, forever free. It is here that we can, all of you know that one of my favorite words is open. When we remain empty of any preconceived notions, we remain empty of any belief system about ourselves, and we are open. We let go of everything. Now, when we let go of everything, does the truth also go? Is it? Then that which must be holding on to must be false. If the truth by definition is not coming and going, then does it need holding on to? This is important. If we have said reality is not coming and going, then to hold on only means to try and prevent the going of something. So if it can go, it cannot be the truth. So as we let go everything, are you also gone? All that you have considered yourself to be is gone. That which I call the basket of beliefs, the, the tools of identity, all of these are gone. But you witness this going also. You are the witness of this unburdening of consciousness, brushing off all the conceptual knowledge, brushing off the basis of identity, the dust of ideas, and you remain to see the beauty of this pure consciousness, unassociated by duality and doership and desire. No longer the bewildered, burdened beast that the sage called a person, but now this consciousness, empty of personal conditioning, which cannot remain unless consciousness still decides to hold on to something. Open and empty. Open is empty. Empty is open. No grievance can survive. No guilt can survive. No specialness can survive. No seeker can survive. No journey can survive. Yet you remain as the self.